This is the start of a new nuclear arms race, and they've been trying to do this. The Department of Energy, National Nuclear Security Administration has been trying to do this over and over. Started with Obama. I guess you guys probably know that. And plutonium pit is the core, or the spark that starts a thermonuclear weapon. And it is about the size of what's destroyed Nagasaki, and it's a softball size amount of plutonium. And plutonium doesn't occur naturally, usually in the environment. It's made from uranium. When uranium is split in a fission reaction, the byproducts, one of them is plutonium. And so the thing that they want to do with these plutonium pits is make new nuclear weapons. It is not to fix up or repair or modernize or refurbish the existing stockpile. And so we have, thousands already. They're good for the scientists. They're independent scientists called the Jasons. They have looked into this twice already and said that the ones that we have are fine, but they last about 100 years, and the ones in the stock right now are about 40 years old. So there's no reason to make new ones. And also we've taken apart thousands, and those pits that they took out of those destroyed or dismantled arms are in Pantex in Texas, in the Panhandle. So they're being stored there, and so this is like an excuse to prepare for all-out nuclear war, and it's not going to be cheap. It's going to cost trillions of dollars, and we've already spent probably a total of $6 trillion since the 40s. So we're going to waste more, and in making them, we're also going to make more waste. We already have 95,000 tons from nuclear energy production, and it's insane. It's totally insane. So this gives more information about plutonium itself. It has a half-life of 24,000 years plus. And so you times that times 10 to get when it would be all the way, gone, or not dangerous or whatever. But it is forever, in our, for many, many generations, it's going to be very dangerous, very harmful to our health, harmful to our genetic code. It's got to be kept away from living creatures of any kind, plants, animals, us. And so it's just really, they call it the devil's element. And so you can see a mock-up in here. At the top little ball is the plutonium. And that would be imploded by regular old TNT or whatever, explosives that would crush it and then make it go critical and then start the fission reaction. And that fission reaction generates X-rays that go up, or go down, I guess, to the one on the bottom, which is the uranium. And that makes that do fusion, which is enormously powerful. So the one that fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki was like a BB compared to the ones we have now. They're thousands of times more powerful. It's just horrible. And it's just a portable war crime, a portable crematorium. It blows up and incinerates entire city. It just starts a firestorm. And then, of course, you guys probably already know all this, but...
We don't know, because not all of us know, so we appreciate it.
Okay,
Yeah.
So affirming you.
I'm learning a lot of this information too.
So that produces a huge amount of materials that go up into the stratosphere and circle the Earth. And if it's a little war, relatively little war between, say, two countries like India or Pakistan, that would wipe out a good number of the world's population, because it would lower the temperature. And we our growing seasons would shorten for years. A lot of people would starve to death. And an all-out war probably wipe out everything on the earth. Maybe cockroaches might be left over. But so I've heard that, I don't know if that's true, but, you know, it would, maybe some people down in the very furthest southern hemisphere might survive, but civilization, it'd be over. And when a nuclear bomb drops.
Can you say more about that? So you're saying, just slow down for just a second, we appreciate
Sure,
that. So you're
sure.
saying, what would cause the cloud that would then lower the temperature? You're saying dust or?
Yeah, so it'd be like the city burning,
Okay.
you know, and all the ash and all the materials that are, you know, are in a city. They would be, you know, just refuse and would go up
And
into the
spread.
atmosphere. Yeah, just like the fires that are burning in Iran right now, they're polluting the atmosphere.
Right.
And it goes all the way to, with an all-out nuclear war, like New York City burning down, the smoke from the firestorm goes all the way to the stratosphere and it kind of stalls out in the stratosphere.
So it blocks the sunlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take
And-
very many days or weeks if it would be covering the whole entire earth.
Yeah.
So
And it doesn't come out like, because the stratosphere is above where rain is.
Right.
So it just stays there.
Now, sorry to get a little complicated, but what does it do to the greenhouse gas effect?
It would trap the greenhouse gas, but it would also trap sunlight. I mean, there would be no sunlight hitting
Yeah.
the earth.
Block sunlight.
So there would be no crops. It would be like the ice age.
Yeah.
It would be way below zero.
So like this has happened in Earth's geological history before, from like volcanic eruptions that happened after the meteor that, you know,
Right.
wiped out the dinosaurs. There was essentially the same thing happened, but it was volcanic ash, not nuclear waste. You know,
And
not sure what's
of course,
gonna.
there'd be pollution in the atmosphere, lots and lots of toxins and radioactivity everywhere. So, but the temperature would be not survivable. Very, very cold. So it's a very serious situation, but they throw it around like it's nothing. You know, like, I'm just gonna destroy Iran's civilization tomorrow. I mean, this is insanity. And the president, unfortunately, he does not have any legal limits on him whatsoever. If he decided to do it, he could do it all by himself. He's not legally bound. Of course, that wouldn't stop him anyway, being the way he is, but he does not have to consult anyone. Hopefully somebody would stop him, but, I mean, I heard a rumor the other day that on Saturday he wanted to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, he asked the codes and the generals told him no.
This is where we're at. And so the Alliance for Nuclear Accountability is an organization that I'm involved in. It's a network of 30 groups that live near where nuclear weapons are manufactured. And there's 8 major sites. One in California is called LLNL, and that is where a lot of the research and these crazy ideas are started. And then Sandia Labs is also partners with that. And Sandia kind of transfers that knowledge into nuts and bolts. And they also have a branch in New Mexico, and they work very closely with the Kansas City plant because they probably do about 20% of the parts, the electromagnetic and mechanical parts, and we do the 80% or so. We make them or we procure them, we buy them. So we probably have a lot of feeding organizations or businesses that go help Kansas City plant. There's probably hundreds, I don't know, thousands of businesses that are involved in it. Yeah, and the SRS plant in South Carolina is where they want to make pits, and also Los Alamos in New Mexico. And then Pantex is where all the parts are put together or taken apart, but they don't take apart very many anymore. And so
Where is that?
Pantex is in Texas, in the Panhandle.
Oh,
And so SRS lot to do with Kansas City because they would do the tritium manufacturing. And so Kansas City would make the containers, and then we'd send them down there and they'd fill them up. And tritium is used to boost that plutonium pit gadget. So it's inside, and then the plutonium pit's around that. And then beryllium, another toxic metal, is around that, and then the explosives, and then whatever they use to hold it in place is made here in Kansas City.
Isn't beryllium one of the main problems that we had at the old Kansas City plant on Bannister Road?
Yes.
And then people got beryllium sensitivity, and then they got berylliosis. Am I right?
Yes.
Berylliosis?
That's right.
And then they died.
Yes.
A whole lot of congestive illnesses among workers at that old plant. And one of the first places to start to move out from the Kansas City area was the IRS building, moved to downtown. Nice big building out downtown. And one of the Peaceworks board members, Georgia Walker, had two aunts in their early 50s, like 51 and 52, something like that. They both worked at that IRS building. They both got ill and died very young. And it just kind of went like lightning through the city of Kansas City. And that's when Channel 41, NBC Action News said, any of you people listening to this Action News broadcast, if you've had somebody in your family die or be very sick from what they think are contaminants there at that plant, whether you worked exactly at that plant or in some of the other groups out at that Bannister Federal Complex, call us and tell us. And they collected a bunch of names, and then they sent out 154 names of dead and 250 names of ill that were submitted by people in this area. And then eventually they quit having it online. So we have an old copy of that that's no longer posted online at all. And we just think Honeywell put its foot down. And one of the men who was doing a lot of research got sent to cover dog shows up in Iowa.
Sabotage.
Yeah, when we started protesting, they would only admit to about 300 toxins out of the plant online. You could look it up. And as we went along, they kept posting more and more and more. And now it's known 2,400 or so toxins.
Wow.
And we used to be able to go to the Department of Labor and pull it up. There's the long list. Now you have to ask, is this chemical here? And then look it up. So they're still trying to cover it up. Yeah. And so it's a very dangerous place to work. It started in 1949. They polluted the heck out of that area. There's a big lagoon of water underneath, maybe 30 feet down or so. And they have to have, into perpetuity, they have to have wells that pump and treat the water to keep it contained. It has VOCs and PCBs and dangerous chemicals, cancer-causing chemicals. Otherwise, they'll go into the little streams nearby and end up in the Missouri River. That's our 2 minutes. Oh, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So anyway, they want to make, first they said they want to make 30 new pits a year for 50 years at Los Alamos and 50 at SRS. That would be a total of 80 per year for 50 years. Now that's gone up to 200. So they're
A year?
Yes.
What-
So nuclear weapons forever.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what, they have enough to kill everyone with one,
Yes.
basically. Not
So,
to make it-
so ANA sued them. There's 3 or so organizations in ANA and a couple other groups sued the government. They won. They have a hearing that is mandated by the settlement, and that will be here in Kansas City in person, May 7th, but you can go online until July 16th, and you can say whatever you would like. You could say, I just don't want any more nuclear weapons made, or whatever. It's too dangerous. It's too expensive, it's insane, or whatever you would want to say.
So your analysis is that this is just, there's just an inertia to keep constructing this stuff, and there's like no one's in charge?
Yeah.
And my second question.
Corporations want to keep making money off our tax.
And is there anything left of an arms agreement internationally?
That last one expired. There's, of course, the TPNW, the treaty prohibition of nuclear weapons, and the U.S. hasn't signed on to that, of course. None of the nuclear nations have. About half the world's countries have, though. So that's
And
building.
the non-proliferation treaty, the U.S. did sign on to.
Never haven't followed it, though.
And there's a line in there how, in good faith, they will work toward dismantling. And we keep having less and less money for dismantling.
Oh, they're hardly doing any cleanup anymore. You can see in the budget, it's like a sliver. I mean, they should be doing that instead. So the PEIS at nnsa.doe is where you go to submit your comments. And we'll be going to DC the first week of June. We go every year and do some lobbying. And then in the fall, ANA goes to one of the places in the country that is affected by nuclear weapons production. And those are very interesting meetings. A lot of times you get a tour of the facility. Of course, they give us the sanitized version of, you know, we're just so safe here, we care for the environment so much, yeah. So, and then the local people tell us how their health is affected and stuff like that, so. But you're free to ask me any questions throughout the day.
Let's give Anna a round of applause. And say something. Can you briefly tell, because you sent a Zoom link for a 5:15 something, is that something for the group?
Oh, okay, yes, on May 15th, there's gonna be a gathering in Michigan, I can't remember the name of the place, but anyway, it's for this new nuclear energy renaissance that so many people are just sold on this. They drank the Kool-Aid, and they're trying to push these small modular reactors, they call them SMRs, and one of them is being pushed here in Kansas, and we're going to hear from Marjorie Reynolds, the leader of the opposition to that. And they're trying to do away with NEPA laws, environmental laws, any kind of regulations that would slow down and protect our health and environment, and just push these through and start making money.
Toxic money.
Yes. And once you start a nuclear reaction, you don't put it out. It stays hot for thousands and millions of years, hot in the temperature and also radioactive. So it's not like coal or wood or when you burn those and they're dead, it's cold.
Is it with those still a situation where the utilities are citing them, the utilities are making the money because the feds are so underwriting so much of that?
Now,
Is that
like the one in Kansas, it's private money so far. And then it's like they want to put a micronuclear a mile deep in the ground and have water heated up and make steam to run the turbines to make electricity. And it's a crazy idea.
and then the feds would still take all that waste, like the utility would still have no waste.
They would have that, they would make more waste. It's gonna cost, electricity is gonna be very expensive. It's not safe. They say, oh, it's totally safe. They've never done it anywhere in the world. They have no idea what they're talking about.
And you wanna cap that waste, leave it in place, rather than trying
And
to
move on to the next.
move on to the next level in, the shaft. It's just, and the government, everybody's pushing for data centers, which uses lots of electricity, lots of water, and that's part of behind.
So these
It's
things are
for
gonna
free.
follow the data center siting, right? Like it's a 2-for-1.
It feeds, the monster is feeding the.
It's all about capitalism. Money.
Thing, isn't it?
So at 5:15, we are going to regroup at JFarm at 5:15. There'll be an opportunity for some people to attend that webinar if they want to. So.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Ann. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
One more round of applause. All right, Brian, we got about an hour. Do you want to help just kind of steer us in the